The gold robbery is still keeping you very busy, Sergeant Thomas.
Oh, yes. Very busy there still.
Not an easy case for you. So many different aspects.
Yes, indeed.
Should provide some lucky members of the legal profession with a nice nest egg when it comes to court. If it ever does.
Oh, it will.
I wish I could be of help to you there, Sergeant Thomas. Truly I do. I always like to help Mr. Craddock if I possibly can, but there's so little there. So few whispers. And for a good reason, if you understand me.
Oh, what's that?
Well, you can't catch fish, not without them opening their mouths, if you understand me.
I see.
Of course, if there was anything specific...
Oh, there is. It is. Very specific, actually. On the 19th of May, you gave certain information to Inspector Stevens. You told him that a major fry was mixed up in the Gloucester car auction case.
I may have implied something of the sort.
The information was given and paid for.
The usual procedure.
Except the information was totally false.
Now, you upset me, Sergeant Thomas, truly you do. I always take the greatest care to check and double-check my sources.
We appreciate that.
Of course, one can't always be right. Not with the best...
Where did you get that information, Mr. Day?
Now, Sergeant Thomas, you surprise me. Truly you do. You know better than anyone that our dealings are delicate. Very delicate. You don't give away your sources. You surely don't expect me to give away mine. I mean, that's the etiquette. That's our ethics. The rules of the game, you might say.
If it's false information that's deliberately planted, that's breaking the rules, isn't it? At least that's what Mr. Craddock thinks.
What's Craddock to do with it?
Well, it's a serious business, isn't it? I'm afraid he's rather angry. After all, you've obtained money from the police by false pretenses.
If I made a mistake, it was an honest mistake, and I'll pay the money back, every penny of it.
Well, it's not quite that, is it? You've been impeding the police in the course of their duties.
I can't say any more. I've nothing more to say.
Pity. Because you know Mr. Craddock. He's such a stickler for etiquette. It's a question who you want to butter your bread. That's it, really, isn't it? Up to you, mister. Up to you entirely.
Very delicate, Sergeant Thomas. Like a fairy tale.
Yes, that's very nice. Yes. Very nice.
Quite happy with it?
Do you like it?
No.
Turn around again, Miss Lee.
You're making our Gillian look like a little hustler in a clip joint. Thank you, Gillian.
Don't think the customers would agree with you.
That depends whether we're running a high-class gaming establishment or a strip club.
Whatever it is, I run it.
Into the ground if you have any more ideas like her. Mr. Day is here.
Here? What does he mean, taking a risk like that?
Might be more of a risk not to see him, right?
Right.
I'll show him in. Come in, Mr. Day, please.
Well? All right, Joe. What do you want?
Well, Mr. Anderson, you know I wouldn't bother you unless it was a matter of extreme urgency.
Dave, what is it?
Well, it was most unfortunate. Most unfortunate that the information concerning Major Fry was untrue.
So? You were paid well enough to push it, weren't you?
I have a certain reputation to maintain. I mean, for a man of my professional integrity.
You're not serious, surely.
I am serious, Mr. Anderson. Craddock's breathing down my neck. Obtaining money under false pretenses was what was said to me this afternoon.
So you just say that you believe the information to be correct?
He wants to know the source of my information, Mr. Anderson.
Which you can't tell him. Can you?
It could mean 6 months I have to do. For you, Mr. Anderson.
How much?
And then there's my reputation to consider.
500. And if you're convicted, I'll give you another 1,000. You see, I believe in looking after my friends.
Most considerate, Mr. Anderson, most considerate.
You can cash those at the desk downstairs.
How bad?
Oh, not that bad. We'll put Tilt onto him. He can deal with that little swine.
Very bad. There's a time for everything, Victor. It's time to go. I mean it.
Come, Joe. There's absolutely nothing to panic about. Brandy and soda?
No thanks. Is there really any point in your staying on here any longer? Or keeping me here?
Am I keeping you here?
Well, aren't you? 15 years is long enough for any man to become a habit.
What do you really want, Joe? Is it me or is it your cut?
That's a question I should ask you.
Oh, I want both.
So do I. But I want it now. No more waiting. Cash in the gold. Pay me my share. And let's start enjoying it. Have some kind of life. We might even get married at last. Or have you forgotten that idea?
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, it's a much more attractive idea now. After all, you'll be a very wealthy woman. 20%, that's... well, it's quite a dowry. All right, Joe. I'll instruct Opal to sell. I'll pay your 20% into your Swiss account. I'll go to my place in Rio as we'd arranged, and you'll follow me.
Why can't I come with you?
No, it would hardly be wise, would it? I mean, we can't just shut up shop. Trust me, darling, I know what's best. Well, aren't you going to get me Opal on the telephone?
Opal here. Ah, Mr. Anderson, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Opal. I've come to a decision. I want you to sell.
This is a surprise. I shall certainly give it some careful thought. How much were you thinking of selling?
All of it.
The price of gold is still rising. It will be some weeks before recovery.
I want it sold immediately. Well, as soon as possible.
Surely, Mr. Anderson, such an amount put onto the market all at once, might it not create too much interest? You do see. My advice would be that you let me find you a private buyer.
Yes, fine.
I shall need your signature on the release document.
Oh, please act for me.
That is not possible. The Swiss law is very exact on that point. I will send you the document.
No. Anyway, that would take too long.
You will come to Zurich?
Send the buyer over here.
You will find a buyer and send him over to London. I'll finalize the deal this end.
I will do it if it's possible.
Now, look, Opal, don't you understand? It must be made possible.
Oh, I understand.
Well, I mean, it's a perfectly simple transaction.
But you are not a perfectly simple client, Mr. Anderson. I will call you back.
They wouldn't give the source of the information. Just the usual claptrap about not getting information if the fishes won't open their mouths.
Yeah, I'm being too damn well paid to keep them shut.
There was one thing, though. He said the matter was too delicate, like a fairy tale.
A Hans Andersen fairy tale. That's what he was trying to tell you. It was Andersen who paid him to give us that false information. You trust Dave?
Well, for the moment I frightened him. He won't work against us in a hurry.
Oh, he could run out on us at any time.
No, not if we look after him. I think he'd testify against Anderson now that we've twisted his arm.
Get him in. Explain to him that we're holding him. It's for his own protection. Life insurance, yeah? Fine. Send it over. Message from the Swiss police. They've found that security van in a yard near Zurich.
We should pull in Anderson now.
On what?
But we've got tilt anyway.
Yeah, but for how long? The woman and the kid say it was an accident. The messenger boy is not sure. Anyway, what the hell's the use of tilt? He's a professional. Squeeze him inside out, you won't get a squeak out of him.
Hey, you're going to miss that plane to Zurich.
I know. If only I can link Anderson with that security van. Or better still, the actual goal. And we're really onto him. Watch him. Watch him like a hawk.
Mr. Anderson, I have a buyer for you.
Details, please.
His name is Mr. Attala. He is a Lebanese gentleman. He will be at your London office at 3 o'clock this afternoon. He will bring the necessary documents for your signature.
Thank you, Herr Opal.
Will that be convenient?
Oh, yes.
That will be most convenient. Oh. All these to be destroyed, please.
Aren't you at all worried about Tilt?
No, why should I be? It's Tilt who should be worried about Tilt. You booked me on the evening plane.
I was just going to do it. What name shall I use?
Anderson.
Your own name?
Why not?
A van we found in a breaker's yard here in Zurich. And the machine was already broken up. Muller, the owner of the yard, we have in arrest. He has talked with us. He bought the machine in January. Does not know the name of the man that he bought it from, but he has given us a very good description. And we have already arrested a suspect. Will you talk with Muller?
No, I'll leave that to you.
You will be charged with receiving a stolen vehicle.
I'm more interested in what happened to the gold. This suspect you're holding, where is he?
He is here. His name is Fischer. He is well known to us.
Leave here, Fisher.
I want to know two things. Who employed him? What did he do with the gold?
Yeah. Das Geld, das du heim verstohlen Waage hast. Wo ist es? Fischer, wo ist es? Wo behand je es dan? Wo ist es? Wo? Hier mal, Fischer. Sag mal. Will you excuse me a moment? I talked to him in private.
Welcome to London, Mr. Attila.
How do you do, Mr. Anderson?
Well, can I offer you a drink?
A coffee, please. Black.
Joe? Please. Right. Let's get down to business.
I believe you were expecting this document.
Oh, yes. There'll be the bank documents. Fine. Now, the price of gold was fixed on the London gold market this morning at...
35.70 and 3/8.
Quite right. Right, so that's 144, 400 ounces, by 35.78. Yes, I think that is right.
No, Mr. Anderson. That isn't at all right.
$33? That's absurd.
33.13.
Mr. Attila, I will make you a special concession. $34.50.
33.45. All right, 33.50.
But that is over $2 below par.
Sorry, Mr. Anderson, this is my offer.
Look, let's be sensible.
It's a buyer's market, Mr. Anderson. You need the money and quickly, or I wouldn't be here, would I?
I don't have to haggle in the bazaar.
Well, then go to your London gold market, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you spell it?
A-T-T-A-L-A, Attila, Lebanese.
Attila, got that, yeah.
Now, Anderson's booked a plane to Rio. Flight RG827. Leaves in a couple of hours.
Why does the plane stop en route?
Paris, Orly.
Tell Interpol to watch him under no circumstances to let him out of their sight.
Yeah. So nothing's come up your end?
Not yet.
And we let Anderson leave the country.
Yes, I'll let you know if I make a move. Bye.
Fischer is giving a confession. He took the gold in the van from Basel Airport to Zurich. He unloaded the gold here in Zurich and sold the van to Müller.
Did you say who employed him?
He does not know the name. He was a man at Basel Airport. Paid him for the transport, that is all.
Where in Zurich?
Müller?
No, the gold.
Ah. He said he took it to the Zimmer Bank. This is a big commercial bank. Also, merchants in gold.
Well, then let's go there. Let's talk to the director.
But Herr Craddock, it is a bank. A policeman cannot just go to a bank.
Well, I can. It must be possible to investigate the affairs of a bank, surely.
You cannot investigate a business or a bank, not in Switzerland, not without special government authority.
But if what this man says is true, this bank received stolen gold, stolen British gold. Yeah. How long will it take to get this special authority?
A month, 2 months.
Sometime never.
Please?
Where is this Zimmer Bank?
You must not go there, sir.
Oh, I must go there. Is there any law against my going to see the director unofficially?
All right. 34. Now, that is my final price.
33.50. This is my final offer.
Hallo? Ja, ist hier.
Ein englischer Polizist namens Craddock kommt mich besuchen, Herr Anderson.
Wann?
In 10 Minuten. Ich wollte Ihnen das noch sagen.
Sie brauchen seine Fragen nicht zu beantworten.
Stimmt?
Nein, nein. Aber ich glaube, es wäre mehr diplomatisch, wenn Ihre Verhandlungen beendet wären.
Ja. Einen Moment. I accept your offer. 33.50. Where to?
Beirut.
Hallo? Die Verhandlung ist beendet. Bitte senden Sie die Waren mit dem ersten Flugzeug nach Beirut. Delivery to?
Banque Centrale de l'Orient.
Banque Centrale de l'Orient. Thank you. Cash on delivery?
Well, of course. American dollars, Swiss francs, anything you wish.
Ask the inspector to come in, please. Mr. Craddock, we have read much of you in our newspapers. Herr Otto. Inspector Huber? Please.
Thank you.
I take it this is not an official visit.
No, Herr Director.
No, sir.
But it is not a private visit.
Not exactly.
No. Well, how can I help you?
We have reason to believe that the stolen gold might have come to this bank.
To this bank? To my bank? What reason?
We have a statement from a man who alleges that he delivered this stolen consignment to this bank on January the 14th of this year.
What sort of man?
He is a man called Fischer. He is a crook, a petty crook.
Oh, I see. A petty crook.
I would like to know the name of the individual or the company who deposited this gold with you.
I'm afraid that is impossible.
I'm not suggesting in any way that the bank knew that the gold was stolen.
The accounts of our clients and their identity are strictly confidential. I am sorry, I am unable to help you.
But I'm sure that the director of a bank of such high reputation would not want to impede the police in their duties in any way. In Britain, that would be called conspiracy.
Herr Craddock, I must ask you to be a
Please.
little more tactful.
We have our system, you have your system. We think our system is right. Perhaps that is why our financial situation is rather more satisfactory than yours, huh? If I may suggest it, I think it would be wiser while you're in Switzerland that you observe our system. When in Rome, you have that phrase?
Then I take it that you're unwilling to assist the police in their inquiries.
Not unwilling, Mr. Craddock. Unable. However, have you the name of the refinery and the serial numbers of the gold bars you are looking for?
I have.
May I see them to check them?
Oh, I'm afraid that information is strictly confidential, Herr Opel.
Mr. Craddock, as a banker, I naturally dislike robbery. For that reason, and that reason only, I will make you a gesture. I invite you to check our gold vaults so that you may see for yourself whether the gold you are looking for is being held in my bank.
I accept your invitation. How much in here?
Not so much, really. $180 million. Oh, we have gold in this bank from 30 different nations. Security against revolution or wars, any disaster.
Or robbery. It's a lot of gold.
Did you know, Mr. Craddock, that all the gold ever mined in the whole of history would fit into a room 18 meters square?
Really? May I see?
Please.
Thank you.
Be careful. It's heavy.
Yeah. It's Russian.
Yes, the most beautiful gold in the world. And the purest. Refined to what we call 4 nines. 999.9.
How much is that bar worth?
More than £7,000 sterling. There is nothing like gold. Indestructible. Without age. All the treasure of Troy could be in this one bar. The Russians took it from the Schliemann Museum in Berlin at the end of the war. No one has ever heard of it since. And so malleable, so beautiful to work. This bar could be hammered so thin it would cover a football pitch, or be made into a piece of wire 800,000 kilometers in length.
I take it there's a good deal of movement in gold, bank-to-bank transactions and so on.
More on paper than here. Expensive stuff to move.
Well, here's what I'm looking for.
Rand refinery. I could have saved you a lot of trouble, Mr. Craddock. We have had no gold from that refinery in this bank for a year.
Where's that going?
To Beirut, by the evening plane. 140 bars, more than £1 million sterling.
But that's your mark. You also refine gold.
Oh, yes. We are licensed refiners, like the Rand refinery at Germiston or your Johnson Matthey in London. We make all sizes of bars. Like chocolate. It makes a nice present.
Yes, I'm sure it does.
What a pity you Britishers are not allowed to have gold.
Not unless we steal it.
Bent gnome. Can't be many of them about.
I wonder.
No good at all, then.
I made rings round us from the start. He's so bloody sure of himself, he invited me to inspect the vault. I actually saw the stuff, touched it. I know some of it was ours. Melted down, renumbered, on its way to Beirut.
To Attila.
You're dead right, it was to Attila.
Meanwhile, Anderson's still in Paris enjoying himself. Spending the lolly from a nice fat bank account in Switzerland.
Ah, this is the most bloody frustrating case I've ever been on.
Oh, there was something interesting came in. You remember that kid, the schoolgirl who was frightened by that bogus social worker, Miss Williams?
Yeah.
Well, Johnson, who's covering Anderson's club, says the identikit picture of this Miss Williams shows a possible resemblance to the woman who runs the joint. Her name's Jo Miller.
That's Anderson's girlfriend. Get everything you can on her.
That's already been done.
Get me Inspector Huber, Zurich Police. Let's just see about that special authority to investigate the bank.
You'll have to manage without me, Luigi. I shall be down shortly. Now, Mr. Craddock, what can I do for you? I'm sorry, but Mr. Anderson's away on business. I have no idea where.
Oh, I have. He's in Paris. He's staying with a girl, a Miss Gillian Lee. Will you be joining him later by any chance?
I may. Well, what can I do to help you? Are you going to tell me? Or am I supposed to guess?
Yeah, why not? Why don't you guess?
Oh, not about that money Mr. Oscroft embezzled. Well, I suggest you contact our solicitors about that. It really has nothing to do with me.
No, it wasn't about that. I've been following up some inquiries into the gold robbery. The man who planned the robbery had a very close collaborator. A woman.
Not someone working here, surely.
Could very well be.
Why should anyone with all that gold be working at all? But if you want to talk to any of our staff, by all means.
No, I'd rather talk to you. A moment. A man has reported to the police that his young daughter has been intimidated by a school psychiatric worker, Miss Williams.
Poor child.
This child links directly with Oscroft, the accountant who so conveniently confessed to embezzling funds from Mr. Anderson.
Hardly convenient for us.
We've tried to contact this Miss Williams, but unfortunately she doesn't exist.
So what can you do?
Oh, the usual routine, interview, identity parade. Got a very good description. As a matter of fact, she's not unlike you. We might even ask you to attend.
You can always ask.
We can do a lot more than that.
Well, Mr. Craddock, I am rather busy. If you'll forgive me, I would like to get on with my work.
Yeah, just one moment. I'd like to tell you a bit more about our inquiries. The robbery was planned by a very clever man, but perhaps the woman was not quite so clever.
Really, Mr. Craddock, I haven't got the time to
Several
listen to
people
all
have been murdered already. Whether this woman realizes it or not, she's an accessory to murder several times over. Wonder what she hoped to get out of it. Power? Hardly think so. Security, peace of mind. Not a chance. Money? I wonder how much it takes to make it worth risking life imprisonment.
Quite a deal, obviously.
Always assuming that she gets it, Herr Opel doesn't seem so sure.
What's it got to do with the bank? I don't know. Herr Opel?
I never said that you did. But the name does mean quite a lot to Inspector Huber of the Swiss police. Inspector Huber tells me that the sum of £1 million from the bank has been made payable to a Mr. Victor Anderson in Macau, Portuguese East Indies.
Bastard.
Of course, you could be getting your cut later. Look, looks as if he won't be using that ticket you booked him to Rio, after all. Isn't it about time you and I did a deal?
Do you mind getting me a drink? Brandy and soda.
Are you going to help us?
There's a first time for everything. What is the deal?
I'll drop all charges against you, except those concerning Miss Williams. Will you testify?
Yes, I will. Bloody well will testify.
Good. That's all I needed. Should put yourself under police protection if I were you.
Police protection! There's no one left to protect me from. It's all over. Finito.
There's one thing.
Look, leave me in peace, will you? I'll write it all down. Everybody thinks.
Yeah, well, there's one thing I'd like to know now, if you wouldn't mind. How did Anderson know that the gold was being flown in on that day?
That's the one thing I don't know. That's the one thing he never told anyone. You'll have to ask him that yourself. I had a feeling. I had a sort of feeling.
Oh, Jerry, I got the warrant for Hartford's arrest. Yeah, just outside Brisbane. I want him back as soon as you can manage. Fine, thanks. Well, this is it. Made a full statement, the lot. They'll tumble down like a pack of cards. We can pull them all in now.
Yeah. I've checked the information from the Swiss authorities. Anderson's personal account in Zurich was credited with over £1 million sterling. 140 400-ounce gold bars.
Even Swiss law won't save Opal from that lot.
No. You're booked on the 9:30 plane to Paris tonight, and there'll be a car there waiting for you.
All right.
You've got the warrant for Anderson.
Now, you've got to arrest Goodwin, Hughes, Necross, and, of course, Fry. You can charge Oscroft and Porter later. They're safely inside anyway. Now, brief 4 flying squads and make the arrest at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Inform Zurich of the time.
Service de chambre. 26. 2 cafés complets, s'il vous plaît. Oui, merci. Gillian. Come on, darling.
Wake up.
Oh, I did order breakfast. Oh, come on, darling, we've got a plane to catch. Entrez. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
You are Victor Joseph Anderson. I have a warrant for your arrest. You will be detained here, pending our obtaining an order for your extradition to the United Kingdom in connection with charges of robbery and murder.
I should like to contact my solicitor.
You'll have every opportunity to seek whatever legal aid you may wish. You're not obliged to say anything. But anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence.
And what charges will be made against me?
You will be charged with the following. Firstly, for that you, Victor Joseph Anderson, on the 14th day of January 1969 in the county of Kent, did conspire with others to rob Edward Rumbold, an employee of the Transecuric Company, of gold bullion to the value of £5,437,000 sterling, and at the time of such robbery did conspire with others to use personal violence against the said Edward Rumbold. Secondly, for that on the 16th of April 1969 in the Greater London area, you did conspire with others to murder Herbert Edward Slade, Reginald Charles Nelson, Peter Thomas Brown, Janet Shirley Lessing. Thirdly, that on or thereabouts on the 28th of May 1969 in the Greater London area, you did conspire with others to murder Edward Frank Makin. Fourthly, that on the 7th of July 1969 in the Greater London area, you did conspire with others to murder Paul Norton Day. Against the peace of our Sovereign Lady the Queen, the Crown and the dignity. All these aforesaid offences are contrary to Section 4 of the Offences Against the Person Act, 1861.
Bitch.
The accountant, Oscroft. He's hanged himself in his cell.
That poor devil. Got nothing to live for now. How'd the arrest go?
Well, they're all in the bag, except Necros. Just faded, no trace of him.
Slid back into the slime, eh?
Otherwise, there's only that boy who was sprung out of hospital on the day of the robbery.
Oh, yes. Jeremy Foreman.
Yeah. It's been all hell let loose here today. Press bureau screaming for you.
Yeah, I had a bit of it myself.
So here's the programme for the day. Reads like a royal progress.
See the Commissioner. BBC interview 4:15, then ITV. The hell am I going to tell them?
My last guests this evening are Detective Chief Superintendent Craddock and Mr. Richard Bolt. Detective Chief Superintendent, this is your moment of triumph. You appear to have come a long way towards solving the biggest robbery in history. What does it feel like?
Well, I'd like to make one thing clear. I haven't actually solved the case. Several people have been arrested and will be brought into court to answer certain allegations. That's all. I haven't solved.
Yes, but that in itself represents a pretty fair measure of success.
Well, we have had our successes, yes, but this has been largely due to a cooperative effort between the police force of this country and those abroad, and of course help from the general public. I've merely been doing my job.
Mr. Craddock, you're far too modest. Mr. Bolt, the gold was stolen from one of your company's aeroplanes, and you yourself advised the Tunisian government to bring the gold to London in the first place for safekeeping. Presumably you, above all people, must have been anxious that this case, with all its implications, should have been solved.
Indeed, I have been. I would like to say that not only has the superintendent performed a remarkable feat of detection, but he's also done a wonderful job of public relations for the country.
Oh, you've helped there a good deal, you know.
Mr. Craddock, I am right in thinking, am I, that none of the actual gold has been found to date?
The gold belonged to the Tunisian government. And no, we haven't found it.
Where is it?
I don't know.
India? Beirut? Macau?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Mr. Craddock never promised to get the gold back. What he did promise was to find the thieves, every man jack of them.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Craddock, have you got a lot of follow-up work on this case?
Follow-up work? Well, there's still a good deal to be done.
So there's no chance of a holiday?
Oh, I might manage a few days at this stage, you never know.
Very well earned, I'm sure. Mr. Craddock, Mr. Bolt, thank you very much. Good night.
Yep.
Sure. Sit down.
Yeah.
Right, Alan, thank you. Excellent. The director of programs would love you to join him in the hospitality room if you can spare the time.
Hospitality? Oh, fine.
Straight down the corridor. Up the stairs, I guess, to
The left, right.
I'll join you in a moment, if I may.
Right.
Thank you very much.
I had lunch at the house. The whole place is buzzing with your praises. Home Office wallers are hugging themselves with glee. Don't be too surprised if you find your name on the next honours list. I gotta take a week off. I got a hideaway in Hertfordshire. Why don't you join me? Take that well-earned holiday.
Oh, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I think I will.
Good. Splendid.
Fine, yeah.
I guarantee no distractions, no visitors, no press, no telly. You can bring someone else if you like.
No, thank you.
It's all very discreet.
No.
Well, John, I expect they're already thinking up something else for us.
I bet I hadn't. Haven't finished this one yet.
Oh, just a few loose ends. They'll fall into place. They always do.
I think there's a face missing here. Perhaps it's someone we haven't even got close to yet. Anderson banked $1 million, paid out another $500,000. Who's got the other 4?